Welcome back to episode 141 of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, I-Man.
Yo.
And on the sticks, we got TJ.
Hey.
Thank you for joining us, dude.
All right, man. What's on the docket for today?
All right, so the biggest news, so we recorded a Decentraland, I guess, update on their DCL Worlds.
Almost a reaction, but not really, because the Decentraland Worlds thing has been evolving. It started off as like a rumor.
Yeah.
And then it became like an official announcement.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, like literally after we got done recording, like a major mic drop moment.
So on Monday, so today is Wednesday, and we're recording this podcast. You're probably going to listen to this podcast on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But on Monday, there was speculation that the DCL Worlds, which is tied to your DCL name, which is an NFT that you can own.
Yeah.
The speculation is that Decentraland might enable DCL Worlds for every ENS domain holder.
Meaning if you own that NFT of an ENS domain, now
Right.
you have access to your own virtual space.
Yes.
Like, in the same way a Decentraland name does?
Yeah. And so as soon as we saw that, we started
Yeah.
recording a reaction to it and like it speculating as to what that meant.
Yeah.
And so we recorded that, and after recording, like maybe like 20 minutes later, Decentraland does this tweet, and they say, expand your worlds. The 4 parcel limitation in Decentraland Worlds is no more. Starting today, there's no more parcel limitations in your world.
Yeah, that's
So,
big.
so at the time, during that recording, we were like, okay, this is cool. The limitation is you only have 4 parcels in your virtual world, which is your name.
Yeah, which is still
Which is pretty good.
a lot of opportunity, even in a 2x2, or I think you could configure it into
yeah.
like an L or maybe even like a straight shot.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of build space there, good height limitations. So you could at least get the barrier to entry was significantly reduced.
Yeah. And so now the limitations are you can use the entire like infinite limitation of the world, and you have 2 limitations. You can only upload up to 100 megabytes of information, which is a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of information for your virtual world. You can host pretty much a pretty gigantic space.
Experience, right?
And then the other limitation is if you invite people, only a maximum of 100 people can be concurrently on your land.
Yeah.
So that's a limitation.
For now, at least.
Yeah, and so now if you wanted to expand that a little bit, you need to jump into Genesis World, and you can have more than 100 people, but each parcel is like, $2,000 or $3,000. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Interesting. Yeah, so this is obviously something that needs to be, I guess, unpacked and talked about deeply.
Yeah.
Especially if you're, a native Decentraland user, which we have been for many years now. There's a lot of you guys kind of interested in what this means, especially if you own land. I'm pretty sure you're the most interested party at this moment. Like,
Yeah.
well, WTF, mate? Like, you guys are kind of like nuking the whole value system to these assets.
Yeah,
right?
I wanted to talk about that because now that you have a name which costs about 100 mana, so maybe like $70.
Yeah.
And so you get your name, $70. You got practically infinite amount of land, right,
Yeah.
with the limitations. Anyone can create anything, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be some demand for content, which is kind of good for us, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like it does impact the economics of Decentraland's current virtual world.
In what way?
I feel like
I mean, it definitely does, for sure.
It does help it, and it does hurt it a little bit. So I think the way that it helps it is that now that millions of people are holding virtual lands, there is a scarcity component to this ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
That scarcity component now is the Genesis world.
Mm-hmm.
So having millions of people aware of Decentraland, they can dabble into like the virtual space with their own name. Now they know that there's this place where there's like actual limitations. Those millions of people could be more interested in like the limited space of the Genesis world.
Just from a pure speculation,
Yeah.
you think angle, like, we have, because now there are people or tools that's tracking, I guess, the growth
Yeah.
of DCL Worlds. Basically, whenever a new one is coming online, I think right now the figure is roughly around 200 to 300 worlds are active at the moment. So in a future where let's say that number is 100,000 to 1 million or something, that is a huge, I think, speculative component to the Decentraland ecosystem overall, right?
That's right.
So who knows what those 100,000 worlds will provide as far as, value, entertainment, whatever the fuck else. People who now the creativity limitation has expanded, right? It's not just 5,000 landholders. Because that's basically how many people own land or stake in Decentraland at the moment.
It's only 5,000, dude.
It's like roughly 5,000 to 8,000.
Yeah.
Out of the 90,000 parcels that exist, like it's in the hands of less than 10,000 people.
Yeah.
How do we expect like that to ever, gain any type of traction from a mass adoption perspective?
Yeah.
Right?
So now you go from around 8,000 people to millions.
To whoever wants one, basically. All you have to do is it's like purchasing a game title, $60 right now, I guess, because based on the value of mana.
You could get a DCL name, which would be displayed above your avatar, or you just get an ENS domain. Which, of course, I want to say we're speculating that Decentraland might enable ENS domains to have a virtual world.
It hasn't been announced, right?
Now, if we were Decentraland, this would be the only thing we'd be working on.
Yeah, because of what we're talking about, right? It expands the accessibility, which we've already kind of come to the conclusion ourselves is one of the most necessary components, I think. Because whenever we started going through spatial and these other neighboring metaverses, we're like, this is interesting. This is totally different than Decentraland, right? It doesn't cost anything to kind of dabble in the space.
Yeah.
Right? We created like a whole gallery for all our metas and Rovi stuff. People came in, we got to interact with them, we got to experience their metaverse.
Yeah.
Zero charge.
Yeah, zero charge.
And it got me thinking, it's like, damn, dude, this is like actually pretty convenient.
Yeah, it starts mimicking YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Yeah, all of the existing, web experience, right? There's minimal, you don't want to inject too much friction, right? And you want as many people to come into your ecosystem as possible and create content. Yeah. Because that's what pulls even more people. The more content, the better it is. Yeah. The more retention. Right. Yeah. So if you're basing your whole economy on limiting that access point, it's very difficult to generate anything of substance, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So we saw this, I guess, coming a little bit. We didn't think Decentraland was gonna go
ham. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going ham, dude. I'm impressed. I think the direction is the right one.
This changes a lot of things about how people think about Decentraland. Because from the beginning, since 2019, we've been in the beta. We've been talking about Decentraland for years.
Yeah.
And we've always been saying that content is king, right? Content was king in Web 2. It's going to be king in Web 3. Right?
It has to be.
And now, all of a sudden, millions of people are going to be, again, we're speculating, going to be holding these virtual worlds.
Yeah.
They're going to want what in their virtual worlds?
Something.
Content.
Substance. Right. Something to either flex about or just I form some new identity with. Just like, your NFT wallet, kind of like a representation in a way of things that you like, things that interest you. If you're into, I don't know, anime, you can collect all the anime NFTs you want. Dude, look at all my anime shit. I'm freaking cool. You know?
Your ENS domain now becomes a 3D version of a website.
Yeah, now you can deck your virtual worlds out with all the anime goodies you could think of.
Anybody can jump in, check out everything that you have.
Exactly. So that's the cool. It feels very much like what we naturally, instinctually want to do on the web. Now in the metaverse, right? This makes much more sense.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be a lot easier to kind of go to your normie friends and pitch them the concept of the metaverse, right? It's most people probably get it, in these younger generations, oh, that sounds cool. It's so how do I start building stuff? Well, first you got to buy land.
Yeah.
Which costs 1,000 plus.
Yeah.
It's oh, dude, no thanks.
Yeah.
But now that's not part of the equation.
Yeah.
It's just
think of a domain name.
Yeah.
Anything a brand.
Yeah, if you wanted to start a website, right, you have to purchase a domain name, pay for the hosting, and so it's roughly in the same cost range to get a website up and running. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
The metaverse is it's going down that same pathway, which is the right.
Yeah, and typically when you create a website, you want to monetize that website. You're doing it to generate some sort of income, just like you would with your world.
That would be nice.
Right.
I think most people do. That's the internet has turned into that. Even if you just create a personal blog space.
Yeah.
At some point you want your opinions and your thoughts to, I guess, attract attract attention to the point where now I can run ads.
Right.
Right?
Right.
all of a sudden advertising makes a lot more sense in the metaverse, right?
Yeah.
As long as the content creators, like, produce some value.
Yeah, dude, I think like a new world is forming here, and no pun intended, but in the sense that, you know how the internet started brand new business models, such as advertising on a web page? That was a brand new thing. I mean, there's advertisement on a newspaper, but advertising on a website was a new thing of the time.
Yeah.
And then now we have these virtual worlds where we have a marketplace full of potentially revenue generating content. You would buy those, deploy that in your virtual world to support an ecosystem like Rovi, for example. And then all of a sudden, you're part of this node ecosystem in this community hosted by your own virtual world. And as part of that ecosystem, you are hosting a game that people are playing. And all of a sudden, you're generating revenue from your ENS domain name.
Yeah.
Right. So this is like the new stuff that I feel like people are going to eventually catch on. But man, we're in the bleeding edge of that potential right now.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it's gonna have to unpackage in a few, I guess, phases. First, this has to spread. Well, okay, first the whole ENS thing has to happen.
And so this is
if you're
this is a call out to
yeah.
Decentraland. Like you must do this.
I think so too.
This is, I mean, obviously you guys are working on it because there's been discussions of it.
Yeah.
But you must do this.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly Decentraland knows at this point the right pathway as far as increasing accessibility. And then on top of this, according to their manifesto that they released recently, it's all about improving content generation tools, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we're focused on too.
Yeah.
Because we know, we want to exist in a metaverse where there's stuff to do. Like it's interesting, it's engaging. It's not just a spectator verse, like a static verse. We want to interact.
Yeah.
We want to build real connection to our virtual spaces, So that's all we focus on. And I think Decentraland is on its way to that too. It's the most robust as far as like a developer ecosystem.
Yeah.
And it's only getting better over time. So everything I'm seeing is very positive.
Yes. I've never been as positive about Decentraland as I am today. And we're just talking about a speculative potential.
True. Damn it, dude. What if it doesn't happen then?
If it doesn't happen, we got problems.
Whoa,
we
no.
got I feel
like we have to like riot about this.
Well, we do.
So anybody watching this, dude.
And this is not just beneficial for us. It is beneficial for Decentraland and the whole metaverse ecosystem.
Maybe this is the time to bust out those pitchfork wearables that we made.
Yeah.
Let's just distribute them and like get everyone to like go to Decentraland
Town
Genesis
Hall
Plaza.
No, we joined the town hall.
That's right, with our pitchforks.
Pitchforks, yeah.
Like you better onboard this ENS ecosystem.
Yeah.
Damn it, or we're gonna riot. We're gonna set everything ablaze. That's what the pitchforks imply. But it's serious. It's that serious. Dude.
It is absolutely serious.
This is definitely a camp that we have to. Remember this? This kind of reminds me of like the wearable thing way back. In the Disney.
Same idea. Everybody's gonna hate this because all of a sudden now there's like millions of lands versus
it was
90,000.
It was the same battle, right? And we were like the few.
Yeah.
We took a lot of hate because we were battling against all the people in the early days of Decentraland who they invested a lot of money speculating on wearables because it was a limited ecosystem again, just like how Decentraland is a limited developer ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the people who invested in these assets were like, no, fuck that. We need to make it even more strict so that we can increase the value of the things we already bought.
Right.
And we were like, dude, no, man, that's not the way.
Yeah.
The way is to open the floodgates. And you're going to see. Like, it's going to create a whole new economy, more opportunity, and, like, things that are actually valuable will start to, like, people like Doki.
Yeah, Doki, yeah.
People who build real brands and real products for Decentraland, like, they're emerging and their stuff is valuable.
And not only that, we had a diverse selection of wearables that are way better.
Way cooler.
Way better than the original.
Than anything Decentraland could have made.
Yes, 100%.
So we're always in this camp, right? So it's happening again. Now we're battling with landowners, right? Who are like, no, don't do this because you're diminishing the value of the shit that we spend so much money on. So guess what? That land will never be valuable if we don't get adoption.
Yeah, like it will never be valuable if there's only 5,000 people holding it.
Yeah. There's only
it doesn't make any sense.
You 5,000 people who half of you are probably like asleep. Yeah. Actually, more than half.
Yeah.
Most of y'all aren't developing shit.
Yes.
Most of y'all just own land or like hoping somebody else has the bright idea to develop on top of it. Like
Right.
that's not how.
And it's so expensive to develop, so it's not going to happen.
Agreed. So this is the best bet. Like now, let's open the creator ecosystem to the world.
Yeah.
And we already know it's gonna blow us away. Just like
Dude,
open wearables.
easy.
Yeah, big time. Somebody's gonna spin up a world because now it's almost frictionless to do so.
Yeah.
They're gonna get access to all the same creator tools that we have.
Yeah.
The Decentraland SDK and all that. Pretty soon, like a much more improved editor, whatever. And yeah, dude, somebody's gonna create like a killer experience, kind of like a DG.
Yeah.
But they don't need millions of dollars in funding and digital currency group backing and stuff like that. They're just gonna do it.
Yeah. And then on top of that, one of the most important aspects, we're talking about different business models, is a distributed ecosystem of a game or an experience.
True. Yeah.
Right, because that is going to be probably the most accessible way to participate in an ecosystem that either is part of a game environment where you're earning NFTs or earning, ERC20 tokens.
Yeah.
And then think about like these huge brands. All of a sudden, Decentraland enables ENS domain names to have their own virtual world. Coca-Cola is thinking about, the metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to do? They need to expand their brand into the metaverse.
Yeah,
they need to build some distributable component to their brand that could be propagated across millions of worlds.
That's right. You want everybody. You don't want like to have a localized experience for your Coca-Cola.
Yeah, you don't.
Presence in the metaverse. He's like, everybody who likes our brand experience, you have to come to our world. It's like, no, you want everybody who's generating their own experience to have Coca-Cola be a part of that.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's like a virtual soda machine or just something to always, reinforce the Coca-Cola brand.
Yeah.
It has to.
That's why they spend millions of dollars on Super Bowl ads.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like go to Coca-Cola website or go to the store. I mean, it's Coca-Cola's everywhere. You see that everywhere. They're going to replicate that in the metaverse.
1,000%. So yeah, this is we sat around the round table here unpacking all this cuz I mean, this definitely flipped a lot of our original thesis. Well,
I think we doubled down on our thesis as a result.
Oh, I know, but the original thesis, we come into Decentraland and we've always been trying to identify problems, right? Like why, in the beginning days, like why is it so desolate? Why is nobody building anything?
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, how is this ever going to work out if the land is owned by basically crypto whales?
Mm-hmm.
Then they don't have any skill or talent, to be honest. Investors are just speculators. They're not like coders.
Yeah, they're definitely.
They don't 3D model because that's not the world they live in, right? They're not the creative types. So it's like, okay, well then how do the creative types get access to build stuff? It's like, oh, they can't because this shit's too damn expensive.
Yeah.
And most creative types are broke, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. Until like something they create takes off. But so there was an issue, and then because of all this, nobody wanted to come to Decentraland. The ones that do, they get turned off almost instantly.
Yeah.
And then we have like a cyclical problem here that we call the trilemma, right? The metaverse trilemma. But so now that the land issue is kind of diminished, there really isn't as much of a dilemma now.
No,
right?
That's true.
Which is a good thing again for us and for anybody who wants to develop content, right? I'm already seeing it on Twitter. All these like Decentraland builder studios.
Yeah.
They're going ham, dude. It's like, you got a Decentraland world? Let us know. It's like, we'll build some stuff on there for you.
Yeah, it's only like $15,000.
Yeah,
And then like all the programming necessary. Programmers are expensive.
Yeah.
If you need a contract a programmer, it's going to be at least $5,000-$10,000 just to like do something functional in at least the metaverse.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to build.
Yeah, it's not a model that's going to propagate. That's for sure. It's going to be a model where you want to participate in an ecosystem. You buy that component, you deploy it on that land. Now you're part of the ecosystem, and as a side effect, people start coming to your virtual world, your DCL name or ENS domain name, and they start accessing that component because that's part of how the game is designed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like that is what will propagate because it's self-reinforcing.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to understand exactly what you're talking about until we prove it. So speaking of that, if you've been following us, we've been deep in the Rovi project for like a year plus now. Mm-hmm. But and we've always had the ambitions of making Rovi an interoperable, game experience or ecosystem where it's going to be deployable in any virtual environment that allows it to exist. Basically, it has the functionality, the core functions that need for Rovies to, still be as interactable as they are in Genesis Decentraland, right? So Decentraland Worlds is the next expansion phase, right? Like, and we're already actively getting the pieces in order to get Rovies in people's Decentraland worlds.
Yeah.
And I think that will be the ultimate proof of concept that you're talking about, right?
100%.
Because now you can spin up a world, you can purchase some of these metas, become part of the ecosystem,
or be delegated these metas.
True. People who already have them, they can.
Yeah, someone with a name who's wanting to participate in the Rovi ecosystem and say, "Hey, I have some land.
Yeah.
Anyone can delegate to me, and I'll host it."
Well, now it's like, "Hey, I have some land," isn't even like,
or a name.
It's like, "Hey, I want to put in like the work," because it's not just owning land anymore. Like, just you throw down some assets like on Rovi assets, and all of a sudden, like, things are gonna go well.
Yeah.
To become a host or a piece of the node network in a distributed ecosystem like a Rovi.
Yeah, you got to do some work.
Yeah, you got to do some assembly work. You got to do some marketing itself to make your build an experience that's engaging, which you can do that however you think that looks like. It doesn't have to just be a Rovi virtual world, right? It's just Rovi is a component of that. Maybe there's like
some other experience,
other arcade games present.
Maybe your own NFT art is like the main focus of that, and then you're sort of enhancing it with other types of experience like Rovi.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the Metaverse, right? Like you can just have a multifaceted experience. Like, bring people in with your art. It's like, dude, I have like a multi-million-dollar art collection. You want to come check it out?
Yeah.
It's all on display in my virtual world. Oh, by the way, while you're here,
why don't you activate your Rovi?
Yeah, there's a Rovi holograms present, which allows you to digitize these things, and now you can interact with them.
Yeah.
You can participate in this thing called Spectate to Earn, which is like a play and earn type of ecosystem. So
yeah.
There's a lot more possibility here. It's definitely
that. I think that's the best analogy, because if you're a landowner or a DCL World owner, you still have to do some work as like a ant miner has to do work for Bitcoin, right?
It's just that kind of work is like automated.
It's
right?
like a computational work.
Yeah.
But this is a different kind of work where you have to do some marketing, bring some people into the ecosystem. You're going to want to do that, especially if you're trying to monetize your land, like as you would trying to monetize a website. You'd put work into it, like writing a blog, doing a YouTube channel, whatever it is, so that people come to the website so that you can monetize it.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same idea.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we're looking at potential game-changing activity from Decentraland. We're definitely going to do some like a tweet storm, and we're all going to tweet at Decentraland that they must enable this. And maybe we can get August to come to the podcast to discuss, what he thinks about this idea. Yeah,
like it's been a while since we had like a cohesive. They blog and they release these manifestos and stuff, but
there's no.
It'd be good to have like a
body,
a discussion about like what is it. And I get that, Decentraland is definitely one of the truer Web3 projects that is serious about the decentralization nature behind it, to the point where they really don't, the founding organization really doesn't want to have too much influence over like the direction and path that the overall ecosystem goes down. But obviously this is like a big like push to a certain direction that, the whole ecosystem kind of just has to live with.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's like they're not out there saying, okay, now you guys should all just start building,
Yeah, but you know what?
Axie Infinity Lands or something like that.
Just like how most of the community was wrong about the wearables being limited,
yeah,
I think most of the community is going to be wrong here on trying to keep their land as highly valuable and scarce as possible.
Yeah, wrong or not, it's understandable why they feel that way.
It is.
Even I own land. It's like, fuck, man. It's like,
it is, but for their own good, they're wrong.
Yeah, but if this works out, like I said, this becomes a very popular model, and it's the assumption is true. Once you increase accessibility, you'll have a more user inflow, and more value will be created as a result. And maybe we could generate a mania from this. And like you're saying, there's actually only one true scarcity component to the Decentraland verse.
Yeah.
And it is going to be the Genesis land itself. So that alone will hold some value.
Yeah,
so
I totally agree.
you might get your return no matter what,
Yeah.
I think this is a better chance than just
staying
with the existing ecosystem framework and expecting it to like
explode.
Manifest into something of substance, right?
Yeah, and so it's funny that we titled our previous video talking about the DCL Worlds, earlier this week, 100x, and we were like, what would that be like if Decentraland did 100x from here? And it turned out it would be a top 3 cryptocurrency, roughly.
Well, in today's
market
pool, right? But
it would
that would put it like at like a
top 20,
like 150 billion market cap or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is obviously massive, but I mean, it's feasible if again, like Decentraland proves itself as like the main competitor to something like Meta.
Yeah.
Meta's,
which I think it can be.
I think it can be.
It has all the components. Yeah, it doesn't look like a great game.
Neither does Meta.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far,
but there's reasons for that, right? Because they're focusing on decentralization. It's a web-based game, all these things. But the components are there to create an ecosystem that competes with the GDP of small nations. It's there.
Yeah. Agreed. I think that's something that Meta cannot kind of encroach, like that same possibility, that same.
Yeah, maybe not. I think it has a chance. I mean, Meta's connected to 3 billion people, right? So that is the biggest country in the world.
But is it going to have like the Web3 elements where you're allowed to exchange?
It could.
The assets you accrue for real value.
Facebook is already connected to Polygon Network, so
it could.
There's a chance.
There is a chance.
But there's not going to be one winner. There's just going to be several winners.
Yeah, I'm not trying to like create division, amongst like Web3 versus, Facebook.
Yeah.
Facebook verse, but I think that division will exist no matter what happens, just because, the nature of Web 2 versus Web 3. It's always that. It's always a comparison contest, right?
Yeah.
But I think that is something that Decentraland will use to its advantage, or should. It's like, we are the Web 3 antithesis of whatever it is Meta's cooking up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And of course, like you said, it's way more difficult to do it this way.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, a maximum infinite money company rolling out their own vision of their product.
Yeah.
As opposed to, expecting the community to generate everything.
And even then, Facebook is contributing to the construction of the metaverse with all these hardware items, right? So
True.
Decentraland, Web3 companies, they're going to be using these hardware items.
1,000%.
Right? So we need Facebook.
I think there's a reason why
spend $10 billion a year on the metaverse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they flipped the whole world.
They did.
Onto this whole concept.
Yeah.
So, again, it's not to paint Facebook or Meta as as like
the enemy.
Yeah, the big bad wolf. But at the same time, they kind of are. And it has to happen that way.
Well, they brought it onto themselves, right? Just all the hacks that occurred, all the stuff that they've been doing, all the visits to Congress for good reasons.
Yeah.
Right. So they are, unfortunately, the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to paint a picture where Decentraland could feasibly be $150 billion.
Oh, absolutely.
Market cap. And it's going to be that the narrative will be this. It's like, oh, look at all these Decentraland worlds spawning. Equate them to like a Roblox game.
Sure.
It's like millions are being created. Maybe only like the top 1% of these worlds are actually like monetizing in a significant rate. But still, that's billions of dollars being generated.
And, it could become a standard in a way where identity will become a standard. Like, people are going to have their own virtual world like they have a Twitter account.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to host like Twitter talks in this virtual world.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be a staple of like just how we do internet.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's more...
what I'm saying is it won't be as weird as it sounds right today.
No. Over time.
Yeah, over time.
People will start to slowly trickle in and again, experience what we've experienced and get that same aha moment.
Yeah.
Like, the only way you get to that is, for one, the experience needs to exist. Like, and what I'm referring to is whenever we watched that SpaceX launch.
Yeah.
You know, the experience of that was something you couldn't have gotten on any other web platform.
Yeah, man, everybody missed it.
It's hard to it's hard to kind of recapture that.
Yeah, if you could, I'll show you. Let's play it.
It's actually out there somewhere. Yeah.
Like we have it on the Rovi website.
Is it like our recording of it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it since it's our video, right? Who cares?
It's our video, dude. We're gonna demonetize ourselves.
Yeah, right.
Period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Look at this. I know you guys haven't seen this. Watch. So this is the.
Reports say all systems are go.
Shit, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's Iman.
Dude, that's me. Wasn't expecting this.
What the hell?
Yeah.
We've exceeded Mach 1 on the Falcon 9.
What the fuck is going on, dude? I wasn't expecting this.
We're throttling back up to full power as we're through Mach
Oh
2.
shit, it's actually going. What
Yeah,
the
dude.
fuck?
Yeah, when I saw that, dude, my mind was blown.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So everyone else watched. Yeah, everyone was stuck, just watching the actual thing, which is,
Yeah.
cool.
Holy
Yeah.
It's still a badass
That was pretty cool.
rocket launch. But the experience of having all these people around you,
Yeah.
everyone, they surprised us with this, I guess, in Metaverse rocket launch in tandem with the real launch. It was perfectly timed.
Yeah, perfectly timed.
Yeah, and
It was such a surprise.
They didn't leak it, so I was like, wow, this was truly like something you can't experience anywhere else on the internet. You just cannot.
Yeah.
Right? And only the Metaverse can enable this. I was like, that was a big aha moment for me. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
This is way better than watching it on Twitch or YouTube or whatever other streaming platform that exists.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's just,
It was way better. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I mean, you're looking at a screen through a screen,
yeah.
and then just the whole rocket thing has just changed everything.
Yeah. Like, even like now, to extrapolate this to any experience that people gather to spectate, like a sporting event,
Yeah, just the concerts with what's his
Yeah.
name in Fortnite, Travis Scott. Yeah, I mean,
Anything. Yeah. You can make anything, turn anything into a much more enjoyable spectacle experience, right?
Yeah.
And that's definitely, obviously, like the Metaverse as an industry is really focused on that.
mm-hmm.
Like with
Yeah.
that seems to be like the lowest hanging fruit, and like maybe one of the most attractive elements of the Metaverse that I think most people will understand.
From a business perspective, it makes sense. Like if you collaborate with like Snoop Dogg or Beyonce or Travis Scott,
Yeah.
you can have millions of people at your concert versus thousands.
Yeah.
Right? It just makes business sense. And if you can create an experience where people actually enjoy it,
Mm-hmm.
it's better than going to an actual concert because you're not going to see the stuff that you would see in a virtual world.
Agreed. Yeah.
So there's huge opportunities here, and that's why we keep talking about the Metaverse, Decentraland, all that. And like I said, Decentraland's components, like foundational components, the infrastructure, it can lead to an economy that competes with GDP of nations.
Yeah, that's what we're all aiming for sure. I think that will be like that will be the big aha moment for like
Governments to step in.
Yeah,
It's like,
governments
hold up a minute.
yeah, if like all of a sudden a Metaverse ecosystem like Decentraland, again, there's millions of worlds, top 1% are generating, I don't know,
Millions of dollars.
20 billion a year.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, that's something you need to pay attention to. You know what I mean? As an outsider, I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, those are the types of breakthrough moments that
Yeah.
I think everything's going to click. It's like, holy shit, this is like actually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the unstoppable.
Happening.
Yeah, at that point, it's happening,
Yeah.
and it's unavoidable. Kind of like where crypto is like on a nonstop
Yeah.
trajectory at this point. Like it's already been happening. It's going to continue to happen.
Yeah. But you know what? This really brings up a new model for spinning up virtual worlds. You have like a Genesis land, whereas let's say 100,000.
Well, okay, so why?
Is it just because
Like
you need elements of scarcity,
and you need, I guess, like a founding community, and
Yeah.
Of course, the founding organization needs money, funding.
Well, it's not necessarily a funding mechanism, but I'm talking about like a structure of properly setting up an ecosystem where there is elements of scarcity, but there's elements of like infinite expansion.
Yeah.
Because I think you need to have those two components. You can't have just infinite expansion. You need some sort of like a city for your country. You know what I'm saying? So everybody can meet up in the city, but outside the country, your little islands, you have unique experiences that you would have to like go and traverse, like Coca-Cola Land or brands out there. So it might be. So what I'm saying is, projects that spin up metaverses, they might do it in the way that Decentraland is now doing it.
Yeah, I think once the traction is set, then I could see that again, because we're predicting manias here. So manias usually mean like copycat.
Yeah,
like DeFi mania. Like there's a couple of origin innovations.
Yeah,
and then it's just a snowball of, taking these innovations and putting like little micro twists on them and like creating whole competing platforms. Before you know it, you have this booming ecosystem.
Yeah.
Right.
I really do feel like this model could take off, like this style of creating a metaverse.
Yeah.
Because if you create a metaverse like some metaverse that exists today where there's like just infinite land, you're trying to mimic things like Instagram, YouTube, things like that. It's good, but we have a technology that can create limitations, which add different kinds of functionalities, different kinds like artificial gold, if you will, right? There's Bitcoin has artificial limitations, just like in the real world. There's a limited amount of gold that we have access to.
Yeah.
Right. So when you create a virtual world, then there needs to be like, let's say like infinite amount of some substance, but also limited amount of some other substance. You have to have, sort of like equal parts of both.
Yeah, I mean that's important from an economics perspective for sure.
Yeah,
like that's one of the main tenets, I guess, to like value creation, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some element of scarcity somewhere, right? Otherwise, it's gonna be hard. I mean, value can still be created from like a,
like in infinite worlds.
Yeah, the value gets created purely on the merit of, I guess, the value and service and the product itself, which is also a good thing. It forces creators to be, a little more involved, a little more mindful about what it is they want to introduce to the economy, right?
Yeah, because now when everybody has access to worlds, to a land or, a world, now everybody can create the content if they can figure it out, right? Now there's like equal competition, but the same exists in like where you have a limited land versus virtual land. But all I'm saying is when you have infinite virtual land, I feel like there has to be some elements of scarcity of that land. And
you could be right. I think it can go either way, but I do think it's going to emerge this way, just again because of how things have to roll out. Like, people will spin up new ideations because what we're witnessing is kind of like it's like it's the Metaverse 2.0 phase, similar to like blockchain 2.0, right? Where there's a core framework, which in Decentraland's case is the SDK, and I guess it's builder tools and stuff. Now they're creating like an infinite verse where anybody could spin off a whole new virtual world, leveraging the same standards and frameworks and tools, similar to like anybody can spin off a cryptocurrency token, leveraging the standards and frameworks of the
that's right,
Ethereum's protocol, the virtual machine, all that shit. It's all connected, right?
Yeah.
So we predicted this would happen, and the other side, M Squared, they're gonna do the same thing. Improbable, they've already announced it. They're gonna create their own core infrastructure and frameworks that's gonna enable whatever the fuck the other side's gonna be like, because we don't know yet.
Yeah,
all that technology is going to be accessible, and whenever they're gonna create their own infinite verse as well.
Yeah.
Anybody could tap into it. Anybody could spin up their own virtual world just like you can now in Decentraland, but it's competing frameworks.
Yeah.
So we're creating like different, like almost like layer ones for the metaverse here.
Yeah.
We're witnessing it happen right now.
Yeah. TJ, you were gonna say something?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
TJ's busy like creating an AI empire.
Yeah.
Like literally AI
like images.
Well, yeah, dude. Like,
I started making glitches on.
Yeah, with
what's called Midjourney.
Yeah,
and I can't stop, dude. It's so addicting.
It's so amazing. I've never been so impressed with the technology. Like I've been impressed with AI.
I know, and like this is what's beautiful. Like these technologies are emerging at the perfect time, like converging, right? Like now with all this like infinite virtual space anybody has access to, now we need to fill it with content. Now we have AI to assist us in that process.
Yeah, dude, AI is the way.
You don't have to be I don't think. Yeah, you don't have to be like an actual molder and builder of things anymore. You just have to be able to have ideation, like if you come up with ideas and
these consumer facing AIs are getting so good too, dude. They're getting so good.
Yeah. And they're only gonna get better. Dude, like this is literally the ground floor. It is. This is we're this impressed with it.
Yeah, literally, he's making glitches using Midjourney.
A glitch is the enemy character in our Roby game.
Right.
So
yeah.
And pretty soon he'll be able to make 3D models of those glitches using Midjourney. Right. Yeah. It's gonna happen.
That's so sick.
I think so too. And then we're probably gonna build in some like an uploader tool to MetaZone. Actually, we are. We're actually working on that right now, like a 3D uploader tool, to where you can bring in these creations and make them into deployable.
Yeah,
assets,
basically you go to Midjourney. It's like, make me a 3D model of a glitch for the Roby game, and it's gonna know everything, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, give me the 3D model in its separate parts.
Yep.
And it's gonna spit out like 20 different GLB models, and drag and drop that into MetaZone, reconstruct the glitch, and boom, like you've just created a 3D model.
Or like a unique companion project is the reason why you want to split it up, right? So that you can mix and match these components to form unique.
That's right.
Unique.
Well, that's not
characters.
The only reason. The second reason that you'd want to do that is that if you're a good programmer, you can actually animate it from a programmable way where it can, when it walks, it morphs to the environment.
Yeah, which is also, so this is like a tool we're developing that's gonna assist in the content creation process in a lot of ways. Because again, content creation is now it's truly the most. It always was, but now it's obviously like the real value layer to the metaverse, right? Like who's going to produce the most engaging, highly functional, like most useful content of the metaverse? That's what's going to bring people in, and ultimately that's how you're going to monetize like your existence in the metaverse.
Yeah.
You have to.
Dude, this goes back to the symphony I had in my head.
Yeah, now, you're finally able to get some of it out, dude.
Yeah, I can, dude. Dude, it's crazy.
That is pretty. That's a nice finally. Little bonus for you, dude. Life is that's what I'm saying. Life seems to be building for you, like all the way.
Yeah.
Like everything I saw in that CES event is like, dude, you would use all this.
Yeah.
Fucking everything, dude. From like the robot lawnmower.
Yeah.
The motherfucking, you could 3D print like your own supplements. You would do all of that, dude, all day.
All in.
To me, I was like terrified of everything. I was like, oh no, dude.
Dude, I saw a video not too long ago where they were using Chat GPT to write song lyrics.
Oh yeah.
God.
Oh my God, it's so good too.
Yeah, they come up with rap lyrics, and someone on I think Instagram or one of these like TikToks, they used that rap and they actually like rapped it into a song, and it sounded great.
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, I wonder how much of this has been used and we didn't know about it.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
like a ghostwriter AI ghostwriter. Dude, you don't even need an actual ghostwriter. AI would do it.
Yeah, it's.
And then not only that, you would be ghostwriting about stuff that's currently happening within the world, so that when you actually perform it, it's like contextual.
Yeah,
it's like people are like learning something about what's happening in Ukraine, like in your rap. It's like it's more adjusted to reality versus like just coming up with something random about your life, which is good.
It's good, yeah.
It's good. But
yeah.
I think a new genre of music where you're talking about contextual shit in real time.
It's like the South Park of music.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, dude, South Park. I mean, have you seen how they created their episodes? It's like they do it in a few days.
Well, because they source like what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, let's make an episode about this. Or at least that's how they used to do it. Nowadays, it seems like they've shifted their model because it's like
it's not sustainable.
It's like a whole season. It has like a whole continuous storyline to it now.
Yeah.
It's not how it used to be, but yeah, I guess at some point,
like they were talking shit about NFTs, like when NFTs were popping off.
Of course, yeah. They do that. They're gonna do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they made a Metaverse episode yet or not, but that's our.
I'm sure they will. If not,
they definitely will. They fucking nuked World of Warcraft.
Yeah, they did
when it was popping off, dude. I remember that.
Yeah.
I was like so
The butt hurt.
No, dude, I wasn't butthurt. I was like proud. I was proud to be like a fucking.
He's like, we made it.
Yeah, yeah. We did. I was like, dude.
They know us.
Yeah.
They see us.
I was like, whatever, dude. I know we're fucking creeps and like weirdos, and I was getting fatter and pimplier by the day as I kept playing, just like they portrayed. I was like, dude, they nailed it. They fucking nailed it, dude. That game was just too amazing, you know.
Yeah, South Park is amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, man, AI is taking over. But yeah, like I said, this is all going to be very useful. We're going to find tons of ways to inject this into the metaverse. I already know it. Like,
Yeah.
This is like the perfect playground for AI to just flourish.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's already flourishing, like in Web 2.
Mm.
But in Web 3, I think it could do so much more. That's just my personal opinion.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, because now we could, like, actually
leverage and own whatever is created.
Yeah, that, and I think we can create much more like interactable versions of AI quicker in the metaverse, or maybe more efficiently than we could like in our physical lives, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because we still have some. I mean, Boston Dynamics is looking pretty fucking.
Oh yeah.
Advanced these days, but I don't think we're quite there yet. It might take a decade or so, I think, before we have like fluid.
Yeah.
Machines that
it's
can
just,
coexist with us.
Every time I think of Boston Dynamics and how advanced they are, they've been working on it for like, it feels like 20 years.
Yeah.
But then I remember Elon revealed his bot and he could like barely walk.
Yeah, they had to like hold it upright as it was like slowly like making micro steps.
We watched a video the other day where the Boston Dynamics one was doing flips and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy.
I still don't. That was real, right?
No, it was real.
I feel like it's Corridor Digital just fucking with everyone again.
No,
like,
definitely, it was real.
It was a real like freaking 360 nollie twist or whatever the fuck that thing did.
Yeah.
That was sick, man.
Yeah, there was a guy working on something like on a scaffold, and like he needed a tool, and so the robot just brought him like a tool bag.
Yeah.
And then like when he was done, he just like flipped off of it.
And like threw him a thumbs up. I think he's like,
it's like.
Because our bots are going to be that cool.
Yeah, dude, we're definitely getting phased out here.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, dude. Artists are getting phased out by AI. Humans are getting phased out by robot AI. Like, fucking everybody driving cars are getting phased out by AI.
Yeah, Andrew Yang was right, dude.
He was right, dude.
Andrew Yang called it.
God damn it, Andrew.
Doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, I voted for Andrew Yang. I wrote his name in. Instead of voting for, what was it, Trump versus Biden.
Was it Trump and Biden?
No, it was Clinton and Hillary.
Trump
Clinton. Yeah, Clinton, yeah. Nonetheless, point is, I wrote his damn name in because
he had the foresight, and no other candidate really even like is contemplating.
That's what's so frustrating. It's like, how can you take what Andrew Yang is saying and think that he's wrong? I just don't understand.
I don't know if they think he's wrong. It's just I don't even think it computes to a lot of people.
Now
it's probably starting to.
Yeah, as soon as Biden got elected, pandemic. Oh wait, no, sorry, Trump.
Yeah, no, but now people are actually going to start losing their jobs, like for real soon.
Yeah, well, that's tomorrow's problem, dude.
Yeah, but now candidates, I guarantee, are going to run on these same principles.
You think so? Like UBI and all that?
Oh, I don't know about UBI, but it's more like we need to heavily regulate this type of activity before they take all our jobs type shit. And people are going to get elected into office off of that premise because it's a real threat now. People are going to actually lose their jobs.
That's
and
we don't
have a plan.
Yeah, we don't.
As a civilization.
Yeah, this is as grand as global warming. Like, it's coming.
Existential-wise, yeah. Like, all of a sudden, our purpose on this planet has just been
evaporated. It's like annihilated by AI.
And we did it to ourselves.
We did.
Yeah. For good reason. I mean, that's how technology progresses. I mean, how many humans are working in manufacturing facilities? There's significantly less humans than in the past.
Yeah, but those humans still need to buy things and feed
that's
their families
the
and clothe themselves. Like,
right. That's the
how
issue.
How do we transition an economy to this?
Yeah,
in a sensible way.
You know,
never been done.
Dude, Andrew Yang had some good ideas. It's like, what if you purchased like a lease ownership to a robot that is working in the Tesla facilities, and when it's producing stuff, you are the one making money because that is your robot.
See, but that the purchase component is the difficult part. That's like an investment, which 98% of the working class are not investors. You know, it's the same thing as like trying to convince your play to earn participants is like, you know what? You shouldn't be dumping your tokens when you earn.
Yeah.
You should reinvest them to generate more yield and have sustainability. It's like, can't do that, dog. I got to feed my fam.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. But as long as there's an opportunity to own one of these like robots that is working for like Tesla or, you know, an 18-wheeler that drives itself, right? You own that. And when it's driving, it's making you money.
The only people who can, my point is, only ones who are going to be able to take actual advantage
top
of
5%.
that are the actual already existing wealthy class, and they're just going to get more wealthy.
Yeah, they are.
And then it's going to displace all the people who do not have wealth and make them even more unwealthy.
Well, maybe the more AI-driven your business is, the bigger cut that goes to, I don't know, taxes that fund UBI.
I mean, basically, it's we're going to have to just kind of like turn into a full-on like communist nation, I think. I think isn't that like what the
I feel like so communism like
just like a redistribution.
I hear that argument because I understand why people would consider that but communism didn't have the element of technology like we have today. So I feel like there's elements that we could take advantage of that when you inject technology, all of a sudden it makes sense. Like it works.
So it's communism plus.
Communism X
2.0.
Yeah, I mean, I could see. I mean, it's already kind of like slowly trickling into the.
Like people are starting considering it again.
Of course.
And then the boomers are like, "You guys are ridiculous."
Well, yeah, it's like that's not how our economy operates. Like that's not like intuitively how you would expect, value to be created. You know, it's like you're disincentivizing, I guess.
Yeah.
Value creation, because no matter what, everything you do is going to be redistributed to the rest of humanity. So like, well, in this case where humans don't need to create the value, maybe it would work.
Yeah, and it goes back to also considering like a resource-based economy where the cost of items is the resources required to make said item.
Yeah.
Not like an arbitrary dollar cost.
Yeah.
So now we're actually considering the finite resources of the planet and then redistributing that accordingly.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about like really advanced shit, which probably only AI could solve.
Yeah, I always like to go back to that. We really should. We got to get that's going to be like the golden era. Whenever we can get AI to a trustworthy state.
Yeah.
Where we totally rely on its outputs. Like, okay, because right now it's got like janky hands, can't spell shit. What else is wrong with it? It's like 70 to 80% there, right?
Yeah.
So you can't trust it because it's gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
But if it's like 99% there, like as much as you could trust, like a condom or something, then we're gonna give it authority. I think that would be a golden opportunity. It's like, dude, this thing knows more than anything. Even all of humans combined, this thing's just more powerful than us.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't we just outsource all of our complexities?
Well, it would know more than us, dude. It would have access to so much data and information that it could suggest like actual solutions to problems.
That's my point. So basically, they become our overlords. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Do you think
I would give in, dude?
I think I would too. If it means like humanity's well taken care of.
Yeah. Of course.
Like every human on Earth no longer is like.
Man, but
that can't happen.
The threat of like hackers like manipulating.
Humanity will always figure out a way how to keep their hands on like the power.
But also
some people within the
humanity is very good at solving problems.
Yes.
So if there's a problem with like hackers or anything, they'll figure it out.
I'm not talking about hackers. I'm talking about like
corruption.
Just
always greed.
Yeah. So there's always going to be some force of control. Even if the technology is so great, like we have the opportunity to liberate humanity from like all suffering and economic disparity. There's always going to be people who want to, have control and an actual ultimate authority over that.
See, but that person, which probably does exist,
or entity,
probably will think that way. Yeah. But what it doesn't know, the entity, is that if everyone is well taken care of, the world will become more wealthy. There's more opportunities. And there's not less opportunities.
Yeah.
So I feel like, because think about it. Let's say right now, if you measure it, there's a billion people starving to death. They don't have the resources. They were unlucky. They were born into some random location on planet where no economic opportunities exist.
Yeah.
If those people had enough food, they would be as productive as the other 6 billion people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'd have, an extra Elon Musk focusing on producing food or, 3D printing, something that humanity needs.
Yeah.
Right? Because Elon's doing everything, but he's not doing everything.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like that is a better outcome for even the rich people. A billion more people to purchase your products. I mean, come on. Who's not going to want that?
Well, there's definitely that for sure. Yeah. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Getting more people participating in the economy and like the financial ethos or everything.
Yeah.
Well, of course, that's better overall for the economy. So yeah, seems like a no-brainer. I don't know, but obviously much more complex of a chess match.
Yeah.
Of the ultimate life game of chess that's happening amongst the elites and whoever is in control. It's just it's obviously more delicate than we think it should be.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I like to be optimistic.
Yeah.
So my nature is not that.
Well, for sure. I mean, just to talk to a point that you made, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, they're getting sued by like Getty Images and all these companies who are claiming copyright infringement, which they are infringing on copyright. However, the products that are coming out of these AIs, they're more transformative, in my opinion, and therefore the products are not violating any rules here.
Well, the copyright claim is just because it's sourcing existing things that I guess are protected by copyright laws.
Right.
The process to generate something of new.
Yeah, that's transformative. It has a new purpose. It's a new use.
Yeah.
That doesn't disrupt the original images, the source images.
It might, just by making a better version of it.
Which, I mean,
it's
Banksy.
Fair game.
Banksy art is still Banksy art. People are going to want that.
Yeah, of course.
Even if it just like makes a better version of Banksy's art, like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either. But
so that's what's happening with AI. Obviously, if you haven't tried it, definitely look into it. It's you could literally spend all day on this.
Yeah, and speaking of AI, I think we got a couple interviews coming up.
That's true.
We didn't really we planned to go deeper into both of these, but
yeah,
it's fine because we're going to interview both of these projects pretty soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Quadrata, I think, will come first.
Yeah, Quadrata's first.
Which is interesting because it's in the realm of identity, Web3 identity, which we've been kind of like crusading over the last couple of years is one of the main primitives and components missing.
Yeah.
And like needs some serious I don't know. Like we need some serious concrete
standardization.
Adoption. There you go. We need the whole industry to pick one.
Yeah.
So Quadrata, I think, is very interesting. And then personal AI comes after that.
Yeah, personal AI will probably be released towards the end of the month on February. But yeah, personal AI, another interesting AI project.
We've talked about them.
Web3 enabled. It's great.
Yeah, because we're obviously very interested in who's bringing AI to Web3, right? And these guys are well positioned. I mean, this is something I think everybody will have like an interest in.
Yeah.
Because, how much use that can be generated from, bringing in your own, basically yourself into the AI space.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really interested in both of these. I'm hyped up for these.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah,
dude.
Same.
Yeah, 2023 is going to turn out to be the year of...
it's like... interesting developments.
I don't know. The year of the interviews, year of hype.
Yeah.
Year of learning.
Hype content, lads. That's what's coming. So we're changing it up a little bit, get more interviews, more, not just our own thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's bring in some outsiders and see what they got cooked up in their brains about the future of this space. And yeah, should be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure you watch this on YouTube and let us know if you have any questions, thoughts, comments down below. Follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner, at Metazone.io, and at RoviAI, and we will catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.